We're live now, guys. We're live. So let me just grab this, what they're seeing, the chat menu real quick. All right, hold on here. All right, I got the chat menu.
Yeah, I got it too.
What are you going, YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys talk, they can hear you. It'll switch to you guys. You go to YouTube and make sure you set the sound off as you're watching. It's a lag. It's like a 4-second lag, so just to let you know. We have 9 people watching right now, so that's great. How you doing, guys? Let me just type in the chat real quick. We're going to start this up in roughly about 7 minutes. All right. All right. So let's get a like a 5-minute topic. Let's do something quick, something easy. Why should PDR be your first choice? Well, actually, let's introduce ourselves because this is live. So, Ryan, introduce yourself.
I'm Ryan Shutt from Baltimore, Maryland, the owner of RPS Dent Specialist. Been in the industry about 17 years.
Perfect. Dave, you want to introduce yourself?
What's up, guys? David from Chicago. Been pushing 7 years, and hope we're having a good live tonight.
Good. And everybody should know me, Chris, Dentless Touch. We're in Washington, D.C. We actually have 2 locations, one in Alexandria and one in Wardolf. So now that we introduce ourselves, let's talk about what are the reasons why you should choose PDR first. This is like a little quick topic, and we'll go into some Q&A.
Less intrusive for the vehicle, a little faster repair. It keep your factory paint, clean Carfax. Just better for the vehicle.
Dave, you want to add to that, or he's pretty much said it all?
No, I mean that's it. Painless net repair is the way to go if you can do it. If we're able to save people the headache and the time, money from the body shop, then why not? That's what we're here for.
Excellent. So let's do a quick one. How did you actually start in PDR? Dave or Ryan, whichever one.
Yeah, Dave.
I used to work for a body shop. I was a porter there. There was a guy pushing Hale, and I was always sweeping up all of his glue tabs. And I'm like, what are these things? Every day I'm sweeping these up. He's like, I fix dents. And so I want to paint cars. He said, no, you don't. I said, yeah, I want to paint cars like that guy. He said, no, you don't. You're going to die before you're 40, and you're going to make way more money doing this. So yeah, after that, I was living in Texas at the time for about 2 years. And then I came back home to Chicago. I just put in dent removal training. I trained with the company for about 2.5 weeks. Thought I knew everything. Got trained up with another company. Proper training for about 2.5 months. And then it was just go.
Oh, sorry. I got to fix my mic here. That's good. Ryan, you want to?
I actually worked at CarMax in Laurel and kept watching these guys come in, fix cars week after week after week. And I just kept watching them and watching them and watching them. And then one day, a good old friend that I grew up with, Dave Johnson, he works for Dent Wizard, showed up and was like, oh my God, man, you really got to check this out. We're making a ton of money. So I just kept watching them for a couple more weeks and decided that, what do I have to lose? I'm 20 some years old. I'm ready to, I have nothing to lose. So took the job with Dent Wizard, worked with them for about 9 years. And, it's off to the races since then.
Good. I'll share my little story. I was going to actually in training to become a mechanic, and that was my passion. And an old mechanic told me, I was in school getting ready to basically buy the whole Snap-on truck or try to buy at least a decent amount of tools. And he said, you don't want to get into this. You don't want to get into this at all. He's like, think about it, Chris. You're working on Saturday. You're 6 to 6, 12-hour days. I still like to get into it. So I promised them that I'll look for something else, and got a job offer at a company, and they're still open today. It's the Dent Masters, and pretty much was like, let me just try this out. I like to go back and work on cars, but I'll give it a year. That's it.
Been pushing ever since.
Yeah.
Working 6 days a week and 12-hour days.
Still working 6 days a week, 12-hour days. 7 days a week now, so. All right, guys, it is almost 7 o'clock. Got anything to add to it? Sorry.
You did have a couple of questions, I think, from last time that we didn't get to answer.
Okay. Did you?
Well, yeah, let's start. I had a couple, that people were asking, but just a
I was sleeping,
kind of
so I don't know.
brief overview. Let me see.
Sound really good, Dave. I like the new mic.
Thank you.
Just like a fresh porno.
Is it possible to be self-taught and be a good tech?
Yes.
With the right guidance, I think you can.
Yep. I think.
I think these days,
integrity, you'll be a very good tech. You can be a very good tech.
Do you guys hate doing R&I?
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't. Well, it's not my favorite thing to do, but I don't mind doing them.
It's all about time.
I mean, what is?
It's all time for me. It's easier for me to have when I show up to the shop and the car's apart. Or if it's retail, obviously I would do it myself. But most of my body shop stuff, I've trained them to just rock and roll, get it done.
Yeah. Someone said they had just found Chris's channel. He's going to be subscribing, but he was thinking about getting into the industry and would like some advice on how to get in and not get burned. He says he does see a lot of schools online.
I think we spoke about this before, Dave, but we'll be opening up a kind of a workshop here in the next few months, so stay tuned for that. Also, we do offer a kind of a PDR 101 class that we're trying to keep as cheap as possible, close to free, to give you some insight. And if you want to take our course, then you can go and do that. So we'll try to give back at least
that
as
will
much
be
as
available soon.
Yeah, we want guys to make the best decision possible. So know what they're getting into. You still work hard, so it's not easy.
You said someone had asked you, Chris, how long does it take to make one of your videos?
Oh yeah. So I think the worst time was it took me about 45 minutes to do the dent and 4 hours to do the video. So almost 5 hours with repair and video time. I think it was the best video with drone shots and everything, but I just can't do that anymore.
Yeah, but these, I mean, now with the cell phone, you can make a quick before and after pretty easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And to make some of like my videos, your videos, yeah, they're time consuming, 2, 3, 4 hours. And that's with music and editing and cutting and splicing and transitions and beginning and end. But I mean, with iMovie on the iPhone and other simple programs out there, it's not I think, too hard these days to make a good before and after video that, you know, you can put out there and market for yourself.
Yeah, I mentor a few guys, and the one thing I always tell them is, you know, get the latest iPhone because it can do wonders, man. They always are improving the cameras. You know, the iPhone 10. Sometimes I can't tell the difference. I think you with the right lighting, it's gold, man. This thing
It is.
beautiful.
How do you feel about that, Ryan? Though with the making videos, huh?
Right.
From your point of view.
The good thing is I see you guys are the young guys. I'm
How
the
old
old
are you?
guy here.
How old are you, Ryan?
The big 4-0.
There we go.
4-0.
Get out of bed, still sound like a transformer, but it's all good.
But still, as a 40-year-old, I mean, and this technology coming out now, I mean, go ahead.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, we watch you guys as the young guys, just the progression of how different everybody's perspective of the video is and how much better everybody's getting. You know, right after MTE, the perfect example was 1 million guys are doing videos now. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, everybody has some type of video out there. It was never my thing. You know, we're slam busy all the time and really just don't have the time to do video. But, you know, you just watch the growth, which is pretty cool in the industry.
So someone, Daniel here said, what do you use to edit your videos? Before I was using a iPhone 6S for everything, and using just iMovie. And then after that, I switched to an iPhone 10 and iMovie. And then I switched to Final Cut Pro with an iPhone, which was a little more time consuming, which was a lot of learning and trial and error. The concept was still the same, but now you have just a lot more options. And I'm still every day learning how to use Final Cut Pro, but that's mainly what I use for my videos.
Yeah, I'm Final Cut Pro too, all the way.
Yeah. Where do you see the PDR industry in 5 to 10 years? I think it's in 5 to 10. I think we'll still be around. 10 to 20. It's going to be a toss up.
I think we're still going to be around. I just see the saturation of the market, as in there's a lot of training platforms out there and they keep pumping out text, keep pumping out text. But I think,
they call themselves text, but
the quality, I think, is really going to set the companies apart. You know, the quality, the customer service, anybody that goes out of school and has a little bit of training can fix some of the stuff, but the stuff that's out there right now, you know, the big damage in what everybody's fixing, it's a lot more difficult than just door dings. It's not door dings anymore in this business.
This is minor collision. We're doing, you know, it's our own form of body repair. I mean, it's still body repair. That's what we're still doing on vehicles. And it's going to be around. I think there's definitely going to be a need for us. 20 years, who knows? I mean, self-driving cars, all aluminum bodies, carbon fiber coming out. I mean,
the one thing I've noticed in when I was going down to the MTE show is that there's not a lot of young guys. They were around the 40, between 35 and you know 55. I guess was out there 50 maybe. There wasn't a lot of young guys in there. It was like 1 out of 10 was the younger generation. So I think a lot of people worried about it being saturated, but you know I think a lot of people are going to get out of this industry too.
The working with your hands,
right? It's just
era.
Yeah, it's you know
the dying breed.
All my hands. So. Yeah, nobody wants to work in the snow. Dave, you got a video of you working in the snow. So you know, so nobody wants to do that.
But that kind of brings so quality, Ryan. You said quality. You know, people techs coming out and you know they call themselves techs and the quality just isn't there. VJ said, Chris, what he admires about your repairs is how well you glass it. Do you glass every repair?
Every job that I do, I don't care. I put my name on it. I'm getting it out right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, same here.
That's just I don't care. I don't care if the price wasn't right. I just don't care. It's just you get me on a dent. I'm putting my headphones in and I'm working.
Yeah, I think it's the pride that we take, especially in our businesses. I'm always striving to glass stuff. There are times where I can't. There's times where it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I'm striving to glass it every single time. I don't know who's gonna come behind and look at that. If it's another dent guy, if it's a body guy, if it's the used car manager, I'm gonna try to glass it as best as I can. And if I'm making a video, I'm gonna glass it 100%.
Each instance is different. A lot of the stuff some of the stuff I'm fixing, you're just not going to glass it. And some of it just needs to go to the body shop. But a lot of times it's a chance you're going to take with doing the repair. You take on some stuff you really shouldn't even take on.
But you do a lot of body shops, right, Ryan?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, your workload is majority body shops, correct?
Yep.
And then Chris, you do route. You have 2 shops, and then also you guys have routes, correct?
Yeah, we have
retail.
We do with a few dealerships. We try to be on the upper quality for the dealerships. So the ones that really respect quality, they're pretty much they fall in line with our platform. So I do a lot of retail. So I'm training the guys really to just do as much retail as we possibly can and offer that superior customer interaction. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, because it's not just coming down to pushing dents.
Right, of course.
You're there every day. They're seeing you every day. They have to rely on you. They're going to be calling you because they're either in a jam, whether it be the customer, a dealership, a body shop. They're calling you and relying on your company to get the job done. So here in Chicago, I'm pretty much mostly retail. I'd say 90% retail, a couple body shops, a couple small dealerships too. But yeah, mostly retail here. And I mean, the challenges with that though are there's a lot. There's a lot of challenges that come with being retail. First is quality. You got to be able to do a good job pretty much anywhere.
All the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working outside, and like Chris said, I'm in the snow, I'm in the rain, and I set myself up for success with having tools to combat that, umbrellas, shade, heat gun, stuff like that. Yeah, so I mean, the stuff is out there, and we take these necessary steps to get these repairs done, but at a quality level. Whereas someone may just come in, fluff, buff, and thank you, have a nice day, but the quality is just not there.
Okay. So just to finish his question, what are some of the advice that you will do to glass your repairs?
For me, I have an eliminate board, and I'm taking that eliminate board, especially I'm starting it off with that board really, really close. I'm making some nice pushes right in the beginning. So when I go to, start to get to that middle to end repair, I'm already setting myself up for success for the entire repair from the beginning. Moving that light farther back as far, as you're going throughout the repairs, moving that light farther and farther back. Taking time, trying to match that orange peel. That's what I try to do, especially with that eliminate light. It lights up a panel so well that you can really be able to match orange peel no problem.
Yeah, I think that was a game changer, honestly, is when those boards came out. So
HD television is what I call it.
Yeah,
it's like going from standard television to HD television.
Jonathan wants to switch from interiors to dents. I don't know about that, but I like interior work. It's clean work. But my goal is that much retail anymore. Okay. Recommend on training. So if you didn't hear, we're coming out with what? Well, Ryan, do you guys want to explain it?
The training platform?
Yeah, the PDR workshop that we're doing.
Right. Currently, as we speak, we do a PDR workshop. It started out as us educating the insurance adjusters and the body shop adjusters. But the farther we got, we kept growing. And there seems to still be a need for training out there. So we're getting ready to launch a full-blown breakdown of different platforms you can have for training that's cost effective. So it's probably coming in the next few months, and we still have some other things in the works. So, but as of now, our corporate training is what I call it with the insurance companies is really done really well. So we decided, hey, there's still a need for this. There's a bunch of training platforms out there. Let's just kind of go about it a different way. So that's what we're looking at.
Yep. There you go. Now, Sean said, should I quit painting and just stick with PDR? I don't like painting, so I don't like the smell.
I'm not a painter. I don't know.
I would definitely, if it was my option, I'd just say I would rather push dents. But I do admire some of the paint jobs that I see coming out of the booth, though. I wish I could do it, but I don't like things around my face, and I think to properly to protect yourself, it's like a whole suit. So I've seen a lot of people come out of that booth, and after 20, 30 years of that,
there's a lot of health complications, I think, just that
so bad,
being around a body shop like that. Whereas we're just in and out a lot of times, which is nice. But yeah, these guys who are inhaling a lot of these fumes and a lot of these chemicals, over time, it's a wear and tear on the inside of your body. Personally, me, I would say, quit painting and stick with PDR, but I don't know how much money you're making with either. So I would also do that and be conscious of that. But, if you're painting and learning PDR on the side, I would really stick with, that and get good enough and feel comfortable enough with glassing repairs. And then when you feel like you need to make the transition, then you can go out and do that. You seem like you already have, just by asking that, you seem like you already have a decent knowledge of PDR, and it's Sean, Dent Guy. So, I think that once you feel comfortable, and you can make, you got to take into account, you have family, you have, home, stuff like that. There's a lot of other factors with just quitting something and then getting into PDR, because if you try to make that jump too fast, it can be tough. It can be tough. I don't know how your market is either, but it could be tough out there for someone who's just trying to break through.
The biggest thing is just take your time. There's no reason to rush. If you already have a profession in painting, do that. Just master your craft before you hit the road, because there's a lot of guys out there that shouldn't be trying to do repairs. So, just master it before you decide to make that leap, and it's less stress on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do you guys tackle creases? This is always fun.
That's all you, Dave-O.
Dave did a pretty good crease. What I do is I put the board parallel with the crease. So wherever that may be. So if I have a crease this way in the door, then I'll put the board kind of right here shining up or down, whichever more convenient for me to see. And then I work that direction as clean as I possibly can. And then I switch it to more vertical. And then I work it from that direction, and just a combination of both. That's kind of how I do it. What do you do, Dave?
Same thing. I put the board parallel. I put that thing as close as I can so I can see the center of that crease. And depending, and obviously, it's asking like, I have a small dent, I have a big dent. I don't know,
how sharp it is,
how deep how sharp. But, say you have a shallower crease. I take my tool. I try to, make sure I have access all the way through. So I'm not going to be blocked in any single way. I want to make sure I can get the tip of that tool from the front and the back to the front of that crease and all the way in the back end of that crease. And then I just slowly make passes, going throughout the entire crease. Slowly bringing it up. And then I cross check, kind of fill in the gaps where I needed, go back, cross check again, put it in the back, the board parallel again, knocking down as needed. And that's it. But definitely starting with that board parallel is going to be where it's at. Sometimes at a 45-degree angle, depending on how sharp it is. But Yeah, I like to make passes throughout the entire crease. Some people like to push it all the way through, and I don't feel that that works. I like to bring it up slowly because it's maybe sharper in one end and deeper in another, or softer in another, vice versa. So that's just the way.
I always say it's, if you go in there fast and try to get it all in one pass, I call it the zipper head. When you look down, it looks like a zipper from the side.
Yeah.
You know, it just takes forever to clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the reason why, and I think Dave, you touched on this, and the reason why you run that parallel is so you can get that center of that dent up, because then you'll miss it if you go if you start, more vertical if the crease is horizontal.
Yeah.
I think you will miss it. You completely look at it and you step back and go, wow, I missed the whole center.
How about this? I think a lot of people have different points of view. A dent on a body line, say a fender. Where do you guys start?
Bodyline.
Bodyline fender, nice little chop. It's got, above the body line, below the body line, maybe some crowning too. Where do you start? I know everyone, I think, starts different with these.
Rubber tip right on the body line. Try to get some of that up, then work the crowns.
Yep. Same thing.
It's weird because when I first started, it was like, you got to beat these crowns down. It's lock the dent in, and after the years of work, and you're making more mess for yourself. So I go in, start right on that body line, and beat the crowns down and keep working throughout it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like to start the body line first, and then I'll pick either the top or the bottom, and then I'll make sure I go that way first, and then I'll start, going back the other way. Sometimes it's going to be a back and forth of knocking down and pushing, but it's just when you ask other people, some people, like you said, Ryan, start with the crowns first, and some people do it the other way. But yeah, definitely pushing that body line first.
I think the biggest thing is that we're always watching to see how that metal is actually moving, and we're making adjustments as we work. And that's what I think a lot of guys don't really, understand. It's not a straight kind of a straight way to repair this. Sorry. So it's not by the book, not by a textbook. It's constantly seeing how that metal is performing. Because if you got a shot on a BMW compared to a Subaru, that's night and day difference on the metal, or aluminum to high strength steel. So I'm pretty sure you guys are watching how that metal is reacting to different pushes. And then I had a dent that I've tried a push cap, and actually had to go down to a bare tool because it was not moving anything. So
I had the same problem on a new Honda last week. That it was a big smash through the body line. It was just you couldn't even move it. It's crazy how different metals per manufacturer are different.
Now, how do you see shallow crowns? For me, I like to put that board all the way back on that panel. And then I use either the Dent Technology blending hammer or the Shane Jacks blending hammer. So I can still get the reach with the tool, but that light's as far back as it can go, and then my head's as far back as it can go, and I still have that tool and still knocking down those nice shallow crowns.
Yeah, I think that the key is to get as far back as you can, put the light back as far back, and that's why these blending hammers have been doing so well, because you can do those types of things. So,
do you guys go on?
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, do you guys work upside down when you're doing, say, a dent in a door?
Whatever I can get leverage. I don't care.
Sometimes.
Do you do the upside down method? Where you're, you have your head completely upside down.
I do periodically.
AKA the dent wizard method, I guess.
It's the old school whiz.
Yeah.
I mean, wherever I want my eyes to be, I try my best to do that, and then worry about reaching for that tool or leverage. Sometimes I'll build a tool just so I can put my eyes where I want them to, so I can see the dent, and then I'll build a tool so that I can push and see at the same time. Yeah. So I'm more focused on getting the perfect sight line for that dent.
So Daniel said he's been pushing for 3 years, and he lives in an area that doesn't have Hale. He's done pretty well on retail and dealers, but he's wanted to go out and do Hale. Do you guys recommend chasing? So I will give my perspective on this, because Chicago doesn't get much hail. I mean, it's going to be either once every year, maybe 2 years. Let's say once every 2 years. It's just not a frequent thing like a Texas or Colorado where it's going to be guaranteed and we're just waiting. So I'm retail and dealership too. But connecting with people like Chris and Ryan here can give you the opportunity to maybe not go chase hail, but, you know, help out with the storm. Ryan was kind enough, was that last year?
Yeah.
He had a storm we had never met, or we had just briefly met, and he called me up and he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Nothing. It's raining here in Chicago. It's raining all week." He's like, "Get out here." I literally got a rental car 2 days later. I packed up all my tools and I drove, was that 11 hours all the way to the East Coast? Got a hotel and I pushed for a week in Baltimore. And it was definitely an experience. It was fun. It was exciting. You know, I'm meeting these guys that are just as passionate as I am and willing to, you know, throw a bone.
Yeah, definitely.
So you don't have to actually go and chase hail, you know, where you're going to be on the hail trail for 3, 4, 5 months. I've never done that. But, you know, spending a week in Baltimore and then going down, I actually met Chris too. I went down and hung out with him for a day. Connecting with guys online is going to be your best bet. And then you can either, you know, decide if you want to go for a weekend, a week, a month. That's kind of my experience. And you know, the money's great. You know, it's hail money. But for someone who doesn't get predominantly hail, that's what I would do.
I do think there's challenges in hail. I've never chased hail, but just talking to the guys, I never wanted to chase hail, but I do want to know about the industry. And there's always some deal on the back end, and by the time you get your money, it never really works out. Sometimes it's okay.
I hear the horror stories.
And I mean, maybe they're just telling me, but that's a lot of stress when you got to work for. I talked to one guy. He worked for 3 weeks, didn't even know what he was going to get paid. So I thought that was kind of odd. I wouldn't want to go through that at all when I got a family.
And that's why it was nice, especially connecting with Ryan, you know, and Chris, because there was no playing around. There was no messing around. They said, "Hey, get these cars done, cut you a check, here you go." There was no give me a week, give me 2 weeks or anything like that. That was really, really nice to know that I was going to go out there, you know, push hail and actually get paid. There was no better, you know, relationship to be actually made last year, but, you know, meeting you guys. And then you can do that wherever you're at. Find either local guys who maybe go chase, connect with guys online, become friends. And then, you know, maybe they'll extend the olive branch to you.
We got a gentleman that says, "Hi guys, how do you know if the metal is high strength steel? Mobile Tech RX?"
That's what I use.
A lot of times you can feel it in the metal.
Without pushing.
Yeah. But Mobile Tech RX definitely. I use it. I do pay the extra for the comparative pricing, and it's a lifesaver, especially for knowing if it's aluminum or high strength steel.
Right. A lot of times. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris. Go for it.
I think Dave can relate because he does a lot of estimates based on pictures. So you go ahead and I guess explain that, how Mobile Tech RX helps you out with that.
I have a customer send photos. I ask for the year, make, model, and email address. I take all that information. I plug it into Mobile Tech RX, and I know what it's going to be, and I can, you know, if it's going to be hard to repair because of aluminum or high strength steel. And there are some cars that aren't in there. And typically, you know, I've worked on many makes, years and year, make, and models. So I have a good idea and understanding of what cars have what. But if I do kind of second guess it, Mobile Tech RX will probably have it for me.
Yeah. Ryan, did you want something? You had something?
Yeah, I wanted to tell the story. I have to give Chris a little credit. You know, he kept telling me for like a year. He's like, "You got to get Mobile Tech RX." And I'm like, "No, I'm old school. I'm doing the paper. We're good. You got to get it. You got to get it. MTE, not this year, but the year before. Got it. Crushed it this year with it. So many more add-ons. So much easier to handle. And it's all about the professionalism. You know, you go to the insurance company, gives you a printed out estimate, bam, explains everything, has all your information on it, your tax ID number. You can't ask for a better system out there.
Yeah, that's a good system. Have any guys tried the PDR mobile system? I've heard a lot of good things about that, but I never tried it.
I have not.
Mm-mm.
All right. It's supposed to connect with the like CCC, I think they call it. So
Jonathan here said he got railroaded by a dealership and lost the account. He doesn't want it to happen again. Do you find you have days with no retail work? Me personally, yeah. There are days where I have no retail work.
This week.
And and estimates are coming in, and the estimate either the customers aren't calling back. It is what it is. But that's when I really take time to focus on my marketing side. That's when I'm pumping Instagram. That's when I'm pumping Facebook. That's when I'm pumping YouTube, making videos, doing admin work, even stopping into random body shops and say, hey, I'm David with Windy City Dent Repair. This is what I can offer you. You can check us out online. I don't know if you have a guy, and that's what I'm kind of pounding the pavement per se. When there's no retail work, that does allow me to do all these other things that maybe I don't have time for when there is a bunch of retail work coming in.
Cold call. That's the best thing you can do when you're slow.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm driving down the road and there's, it's close to my area, or even if, I'm in an area where it's not too bad, half hour away, something like that, and I see a body shop, yeah, I'll stop in, hey, what's up, guys? Hand on my card. It doesn't hurt, and I can hit 10 of them and none of them may ever call back. But there's going to be that one day where they will. They have your card. Hey, well, remember that one guy who stopped in here? And your card is sitting right there, or, they liked you on Facebook or saw you on YouTube again. That's when I'm really doing all these other things, especially when there's no retail or bad weather. I had just 10 inches of snow about 3 weeks ago and, and there's nothing I can really do, but that's when I really started, doing some different things with YouTube and stuff like that. That's what I take the time for.
Yeah. I'll just do admin work. There's always a ton of admin work in my business to do. So for a few days, I'll basically just do that. But yeah, there are days that I'm slow with retail, for sure, especially during the winter months.
Any tips on how to grow a route? How to grow your route?
Word of mouth.
Ryan, you're always picking up accounts.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's the biggest thing is build a reputation. You know what I mean? Because estimators and insurance people are always moving. When I really started growing this business, I sat back and said, how can I grow this business? You get to know all the insurance guys, all the estimators, and all the shops. Get to know the tool guy. There's the Snap-on tool guy goes into every shop. Get to know them. When you build a relationship with them, give them your cards. They go in, they're like, hey, we're looking for a paintless guy. Bam, here's your card. Just another avenue. The biggest thing is just word of mouth, and it really stinks when you're going in all these shops getting kicked in the face because everybody has a guy. Everybody has a guy. Just give me, always throw me a bone. Give me something that he can't fix, and that's how you get it. When you turn down something, the other guy's in there.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes you can link with that other person too. I think that's another avenue that people overlook. You can kind of call them and say, hey, I'm in the area. If there's anything that you can throw me, I can help out. He may even want to grow your company. You're actually stronger together than two separate companies. So, man, maybe try to link up with a guy that's been doing it for years. And I know actually Ryan's hiring, so send him your resume. Send him your resume.
Maryland. If anyone's close to the Baltimore area.
Come on, Dave-O, get on that plane.
No, I think there was a guy. What was his name? Dave Johnson, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what these. What was the other side? The industry is.
Do you think there's going to be qualifications required to filter out poor workmanship?
No.
You're always going to have the gypsies.
Yep, that's what I think. But I do think people will start realizing good work and bad work, and I think that's not out here right now. So, but that's an industry. You have bad plumbers. And they stand there, well, the pipe works. Everything works, but it might not work for long. So
yeah,
I think that's in every industry. And it's hard to put a qualification on it. maybe some of the bigger companies, maybe they may push for it, but I don't see how they would do it.
Have you ever pulled paint on a customer's car? Do you let them sign a waiver if there is a possibility?
I was actually going to ask you guys that.
I have a waiver. They do sign if I have to glue pull. I always have them sign. Body shop's a little different because you just warn them, hey, when you get to the level that some of the guys are out there, you can tell if the panel's been painted. You can tell if the paint's going to pull. Most Subarus, the new Subarus, are terrible. I would say 60% of the time you're going to pull the paint. But the waiver is definitely a smart thing to do. It just covers your butt, even though you explain it.
Yeah, and I think the waiver is nice. I don't have them sign, and I do have a story about this too. I don't have them sign, but you're still going to have to deal with it after it's done, regardless waiver or not. You're going to still have to deal with the customer, and they're still going to be mad regardless if they signed it. You're going to get the cool, no, it's fine. The dent looks fine, or I'm just going to touch it up. It's okay. You kind of are hopeful for that situation. But actually recently I just had to pay half of a body shop bill for a 2004 Dodge Grand Caravan that I pulled paint on. Yeah, and it was cold. I had the heat on it. Everything was good. I knew it was a painted panel, but it was a nice soft dent. I figured I was going to take my chances on it, and I did forewarn her, and I was going to take my chances. She said it's okay. No, it won't be an issue. The paint ended up pulling. I pulled the customer. I said that your dent's fixed, but there's no paint here, and there's a nice patch of Bondo right there, just staring at me. So yeah, she sent me an email after the body shop repaired her vehicle, and I told her that I would pay a quarter of it. There were a couple other things on there that weren't pertaining to what I did, so she broke it down for me. She was actually really nice. She sent me a copy of the invoice and what they had done, and then I told her that I would pay a portion. I mean, those instances do happen. It does happen. It's unfortunate, and I hate it when it happens, but it does.
I don't make them sign. I don't make any of my customers sign a waiver. I probably should, but I have this big thing that they come to an expert, so we got to kind of use our expertise to make that decision. That's just me. It's a personal thing, but I don't have them sign a waiver because, like Dave says, you're still going to have to deal with it. They're going to look at you even after they sign a waiver or not. They still want this thing fixed. So
yeah.
I've definitely have repainted panels. I mean, like Ryan said, the Subaru is worse. So I do let the Subaru customers know that I don't know about this glue pulling on this panel. And we can make a decision depending on the dent.
And then someone asked about windows too. Windows I cover 100%.
Yeah, I cover it too.
If it's my fault, just either I can call someone out for you. There's been instances where I've broken some Highline vehicles, and glass companies don't carry that sort of glass. And I'm calling around, or I'll tell the customer, hey, we can just take it to your local dealership, or we can take it there, and the bill will be 100% covered by us. But it does make it a lot easier once the window's broken to fix the damage. I'll tell you that.
No, Jonathan, I think there's some disclaimers online about the glue pulling. If not, you could just email me. I'll send you one, or Ryan, you can send me yours.
Yeah, I can send it to you also.
It's not written up by a lawyer, and again, you were the last one to touch the car, and I don't think it will hold up in court, honestly. But I'm not a lawyer either. So.
Is a dent repairable from behind if there's body filler in the dented area?
I've done a few. It's got to be. It's a difference because the body filler will stamp, and then to me, there's no way of repairing that. But if it's so shallow that I can kind of get at least some movement out of that Bondo, just a hair. I mean, maybe. And it all depends on the repair. Who did the Bondo?
Yeah.
Within spec, you probably have a better chance. If it's just loaded on, good luck.
Crack.
Yeah.
And a lot of times,
you're not even going to see the tip of your tool.
Try not to knock it down. When you knock it down, it almost divots the body filler.
Yeah.
So you have to push it so lightly to try not to high spot it.
Do you guys work with any car wash places?
Yes,
I
and
d-
details.
you do.
As in like a
Yeah,
detailer?
and detailers. Yeah, I do detailers. I don't do like car. I don't do car washes, but I will do professional detailers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely. I just actually went to go visit a car wash place today. They're gonna start using us.
It's not a bad avenue. It's definitely not a bad avenue. The only thing I don't like sometimes with that is it needs to be done now.
Yes.
There is no waiting
Mhm.
for the car is going to be done that day anyway. So it's can you either get it's nice if there's it's a good shop, it's a smart shop. They will schedule it hopefully accordingly. But with car washes, I mean the car is going to be there for a little bit and it's gone. Detailers, if they know someone's coming in, or the customer does ask them about that, do you know anyone? Windy City Dent Repair does work with, um, some detailers, or, they're nice enough to just hand out the card and say, here, call these guys. This is who we use. If
Yeah,
we
that's
can't
what I
get there
like the
that day or
most.
something like that, I do like that too. And they know our process. They know how it goes. They tell them to send photos and they make it pretty easy on us, getting the info out to the customer.
Yep. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find this gentleman.
What are the biggest tips you have for starting out, like 1 month out of training?
Ooh.
Take your time.
I say still practice. 1 month out of training.
Yes.
Still practice even a year out of training.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Practice,
my thing would
practice.
be to pick up rock lots. That's what I would be doing. I
Oh,
would be
yeah.
picking up the small
Yeah. The
wholesale lots. They have 15, 20 cars, 50 cars max. They're not going to care about the quality as much. They want it to look sellable.
Better.
Picking up those, they want it to look better. Picking up those small little Ole Auto Sales and Johnny's Cars and those little spots are going to be able to. You're not going to make your millions off of them, but you're going to be able to make a buck and have good practice and a good what do I say? How do you say it? A good amount of cars to work on. You know what I mean? You're going to have cars coming in. They're going to be buying. They're going to be selling. The quality doesn't have to be there, but you're going to be touching a lot of metal and touching a lot of makes and models, which will just help you get to where you want to be faster.
It's good practice.
I think practice. Again, it goes back to practice. So if someone's willing to pay for you to practice and you let them know that, I'm pretty new at this and, the price will reflect that. And at least it's great practice actually. So I think a lot of guys actually started that way. So I know some of the bigger companies, they do it that way too. So, here's an interesting question. What do you think about the media event? I'm actually scrolling up. I don't know exactly what he said. Must have been. Do you see it, Dave? I made you admin.
Mm-mm.
Where's it at?
How do you guys like working behind sound deadener? Do you push through it or take it off and apply a new layer?
I pushed through it.
I'm pushing right through it.
I'm pushing
right through it. Nice sharp tool. And I'm pushing. Ryan, I think it was, or one of you picked up the PDR finesse tool.
Oh, that was me. I just picked that up. Yeah.
You both, I think you both did, right? Or something like that?
Yeah. Yep.
What
I
was
had both of them for a little while. 245.
245.
Yeah.
And you said you love it, huh?
It's awesome.
And then there's the 226 L and R, I believe, right? Or the other ones?
Yes.
So the one you have is what's the difference between those and then the 245?
It's got a kick to it. So instead of the end, the very tip going straight out, it goes straight out and bends towards the end. So it's the problem with the 226 R and L are getting them in some of the doors. You just can't. It's got the larger brace at the top of the door, and this doesn't clear that brace. It's really difficult to get down in there. The 245 has a super long kick at the end, which is really nice because you get a ton of leverage and it's super sharp.
Yeah.
It's great for the fronts of the doors. So, when I had a Mazda the other day and the mirror's kind of it's mounted on the door and it's towards, it's got quite a bit of space in between the door and the fender there. So I could get all the way to the edge of the door. But the PDR finesse stuff is definitely some of the sharpest stuff out there.
Yeah, and that'll push through that sound deadener, no problem, correct?
I think
Yes.
it will. I haven't tried it on sound
Yeah.
deadening. My favorite Dentcraft tool seems to be working through that sound deadening. I can't find this question here, but oh well. Maybe I'll say it again. Type it again. Any other questions we
Here it
missed?
is. Here's that question, Chris. It says, "What do you guys think about the media package that's being put on by Dent Trainer?"
Oh, okay. Um, I think it's a very good thing for people who need it. I think everybody needs a little, um, kind of a mentorship to social media. It's kind of new to some guys. I believe for all of us, it's not it's not needed as much because we do the YouTube, we do the Facebook, we do the Instagram. I actually have a little bit of marketing background. Dave, Ryan, you have, I think, one of the best marketing guys in your corner too,
Mm-hmm.
that you were speaking about. And then, Dave just adds that new flair to everything. He just gets it. So I don't know.
It's a great platform that wasn't there for when some of us older guys were doing it. Me personally, I didn't get on Facebook for. I was like, I don't need that. We're just pushing dents. I don't need Facebook. It's a kid thing. Social media is huge right now. So with the multimedia event, I think it's a great idea. It explains what you have to do, the avenues you have to go
Mhm.
to get where you need to be.
But I
It's
also
very.
say I've never been. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ryan.
Go ahead. You're good.
I've never been. I don't think you guys haven't been, so I really can't speak about it and the value that it will add. Also, I'm kind of staying in my lane and doing my own thing, and I think we have a good system going on, and it's kind of my thing. I do everything, AdWords. I do everything as far as I do it all. I set it up. I set all the parameters for it. So there's really nothing that actually goes past me. So I write my own blogs. So I do a lot. So let's see. Best method to start training. Eric, if we're working on a workshop we spoke about earlier, so stay tuned to that. You can check the old website is up, but the new website will be at www.pdrworkshop.com. So check that out, Eric. What else do we have here? Have anybody tried that pirate hook?
I
Stanliner,
have
the pirate
not.
hook?
No, I don't have any Stanliner tools. I saw them. They're just so unique that I'm trying to figure out the dent dial still. I'm still trying to figure out the dent dial.
I
I
think
had
it's
it in my
funny,
hand
man.
today on a car, and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the car, I'm looking at the dent dial, and I'm just like,
You gotta come over. I'll show
whoa.
you.
It's a
I have a
beast.
lot of. Yeah, I
It's a
love it.
beast. I'll tell
Yeah, I
you, that
love
was
that thing.
probably my best purchase this year at MTE. It's a beast.
Rather than down.
Absolute beast.
I feel
Certainly on
like the
fenders.
Stanliner tools are complicating things. So
Yes.
There is one tool that they have. It's kind of like bent up like this, and it's real. Let me see if I can go on the website and figure out which one it is and share it with you guys.
It's a different technique, I guess. So it's a learning curve for a lot of us. I don't know.
I
I mean,
think
I
it's
think
gonna
it's a
have
good
it.
thing. I think it. I
Yeah, it's
think
gonna have it serve its purpose for that one.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
for that one
Of
dent.
course, but can I
Oh, the
justify
snake.
buying a set?
That's what
Probably
it
not.
is. The snake tool. I like the snake tools. I might get one of those. But
Jonathan said he has an opportunity to work for a friend as a vendor, but he doesn't want his friendship to be jeopardized if it doesn't work out. How can he make sure he's bringing something to the table right off the bat? Ryan, I think you have a lot of friends, in shops and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
You got a lot of buddies with shops, and you do dents, and they do something else, automotive related. How do you kind of keep that friendship and business friendship and?
I mean, you pretty much negotiate up front. So you get the money end of it completely out of your hands. So you sit back and say, what are you looking for? If it's a dealership, if it's a body shop, give them your rates, work out your rate. So that's out of the way, because it comes to the end of, sometimes it's a money thing. So that you already know is off. The other thing is just do a good job. You know, that'll go. If you can't fix something, look, I just can't fix this. Or, you know, a lot of it's just being honest. You know, you have to go the extra mile. Sometimes they'll lean on you, and it depends on how good your relationship is. You know, sometimes you have to cater to the ones that take care of you. If they're feeding you a ton of work, you're gonna cater towards them. You know, I have an instance in one of my shops right now. Ton of work. If they call, I go. I make it happen. You know, and if they start abusing that, then you handle it that way. It's all in how you handle each situation. You know, each situation is unique.
Tech, so
I think being honest is definitely upfront.
You know, and get the money worked out before you dive in. You know, so that's out of your way. So it's not a money issue. You know, but then if he starts abusing the situation, then you have to handle it that way.
Yeah.
It's all about being upfront.
So he said it's an actual dent tech that he's vendoring, so that he's going to be a vendor for. So I don't know. Go ahead.
You're what?
I'm a stickler for. I like my work to be known. I think I take pride in my work, so there has to be some type of mutual agreement if you're trying to start a business to let them know that, you know, at least you worked on the car in some type of way, and that's not always an option when you got a customer standing there. It makes no sense to let them know that you worked on it. But as I have people come in, you know, work for me, I let them know it's a contractor. He does great work. His company name is this, and I try to give him a little bit of shine. So that's some of the things I do. So I kind of wish people do the same thing for me, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So in a partnership. Do you guys use lines? I would say no. Dave, I think you don't use them.
Nope. I don't know how.
Fog.
Me neither.
Fog.
I think fog is way better than lines, but I don't know. I've never used lines.
Mike Toledo's killing it with the lines, so you can't. You know, everybody's different. It's all in your own preference.
Yeah, I mean, I know guys too that they start with one and end with the other as well because they can't finish. You know, it's weird.
But it seems like they end with fog though. Can we agree upon that, or they end with lines?
I don't know.
I've seen guys start with lines and end with fog, and that means to tell me just stay with fog then.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm fog all the way.
I'm fog. All. Do you guys exercise? Yes, I need to. Yes.
No. Look at me. Do I look like I exercise? No.
But we should, though.
But you should, yeah. You know what? There was a tech that I met at Mobile Tech Expo that does yoga. And he said it was the best thing he ever did, as in flexibility, as in strength. He says it was I don't even know how the conversation came up. It was a dent mechanic over he's in LA. And we were just talking about it, and he was saying how much better his dent game has gotten with yoga.
So you're gonna be doing downward dog after this?
Yoga.
You got your yoga mat?
Send me a picture. Oh man.
Do you think it's worth investing in the hot box for route? Chris, you were looking into picking up, I believe, the Harbor Freight.
Well, that was the Harbor Freight.
Yeah, right, or something, right?
What do they call that thing? The PDR box, I think they call it.
The dent box.
Yes.
The dent box. So I was looking at picking up the dent box, which actually I think it changes the molecules in the metal and actually stiffens the metal. So some of these stretched dents that I kind of have to turn away or try to make look better, I can actually stiffen up that metal so I can actually take those stretched dents out. And sometimes I'm right on the fine line. I know it's stretched, but I know I can get it. And I have a method where I kind of heat and cool to kind of tighten that metal up. And it only does but so much. But I think this that dent box or dent, whatever it's called, I think that's what. And they make a Harbor Freight. You can kind of build one yourself. So I was going to try it out with something cheaper.
We learned that from Charlie, correct?
Yeah,
Charlie
Molino from PDR Shop.
The PDR Shop.
The PDR Shop, yeah, on YouTube. So it says, how long would you say it takes for a tech to basically get decent? Good work every day. I understand you're always learning throughout your career, but I like an idea. I say 3
Year,
years.
I would say at
3
least
years.
a year. 3 years, you're an okay tech. I think 1 year you can kind of fumble through it. Some of the bigger stuff you're just gonna
That could be
struggle.
hurting. Yeah. I think it goes person to person. I've seen actually
It
some
is.
good 1 year techs actually,
It
and
is.
I'll probably go back on the 3 years. And then I've seen some people 4 years in or even 10 years in, and they're struggling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it really does come down to the person.
yeah,
You know, if a 3-year tech is not getting the results that he wants, is he going to put in that work to figure out why, or is he just going to keep doing those same results for the rest of his career? Same goes for a 1-year tech, a 6-month tech, a 10-year tech. You know, I'm always pushing to do bigger damage, nastier damage as much as I can. There's guys out there doing bigger damage than I am and glassing it. But I'm striving to always do that. You know, I may not hit it, but if I strive it, you know, to be there, being number 2, you know, in big isn't that bad either. You know, and then which is maybe going to push me to the top in my market. You know, so I'm trying to be like everyone else that I'm seeing online, pushing bigger, 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 glass, 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 where no one else around me is doing that, which is only going to put me at the top.
And it's all in your passion. You know,
Yeah.
us three, we're very passionate about the industry, about our career.
right.
So, you know, you look at some of the stuff and you're like, I don't know if I can handle this, but I'll try. And you get in there and you waste 4 hours of your time and you're like, oh, this still looks terrible. You know, it's all in what you put in this job. You know, the hours you put in, the time, the chances you take. It's just something that you're going to have to figure out.
Yeah. Hold on. Text in here.
Do you use heat to shrink aluminum dents? He says he saw videos on YouTube of a guy doing it using heat to shrink aluminum dents. I treat aluminum as their regular metal when it comes to pushing. I do use heat 100% of the time if it's aluminum. It's only going to help the repair go a lot faster. But I've never used it to actually shrink it.
Yeah, I use it to shrink it.
To
I heat it
actually
up.
shrink the metal.
Yeah, I heat it up and then I cool it real fast, and it
Oh,
actually
okay.
will shrink. Yeah,
Depends
you
on how
can't do
bad
it
the
so much
damage is.
on yeah, obviously, yeah. But you can't do it too much on aluminum. You will make it brittle, so it won't respond too well.
And I've noticed when you heat aluminum and it's a metallic, you really have to watch it because it almost, I call it, it's almost fracturing the aluminum. So when you bring it up and you've got a little line in that center, and with metallics, it'll pull the metallics down inside there. It'll almost model it. So you have to watch the heat. But, you know, it really depends on the damage.
Yeah.
That's a good question for you guys. Are you able to use your PDR skills in other industries? I'm racking my brain. Maybe a bodyman, I guess. I don't know.
I haven't used my PDR skills, no, but I've definitely learned other skills as a business owner.
Yeah.
And taken those into other
sure.
aspects of just my life, dealing with people, having patience with people. I think just having more patience in general. This craft kind of helps you be a little more patient. There's definitely times where you're going to be impatient, but I wouldn't say like physically like tool skills. I haven't seen, but definitely dealing with customers is has helped me just along with other just people in general.
I think it's honed in my training and speaking with large crowds and in front of people. I think it's really changed that aspect of me. So, but as in another job, I don't know. You know,
Yeah,
that's a tough question.
I'm on Dave's side. The business aspect of running a business, the marketing, the payroll, and all the stuff that I have to do outside of pushing, it's definitely taught me a lot. I definitely feel like I can start another business and be very successful. Do you guys do motorcycle tanks? I do. Send them to me.
I do not.
Yes.
I do not.
Don't be
Ryan, you
scared,
do?
Dave. Yeah.
I do not.
You should see the jig that I have set up. That wooden jig is so lovely. Works every time. What do you use, Ryan?
There's a motor. It's called ACS. It's up the street from my shop. And they have like a jig that they put these things in. It's like a vise that they built. It's almost like Daniel Grom's, but it just sits on a table, and the table's adjustable. And it's the only time that I'll do them is even if it's a customer that comes to me, I'll go to that shop and do the repair there.
No. Nice. For here, I mean, Chicago, we have 3.5 months of actual summer. Maybe like 4 to 5 months, 5 tops of actual riding time. Investing in the MPDR set and how much actually people are riding around here. People ride, don't get me wrong, but it's just not enough for me to justify investing in the set, the jig, the this, the that. There's a lot more cars here than there are motorcycles. So I don't do garage doors. I will rarely do appliances. I don't like to promise something that we can't be 100% in. Going into all these other things are just going to be a hit or miss. I think we can get it. I'm not really sure. We might be able to. I don't like that. Yes, we can fix it. No, we cannot.
I love Harley tanks. That's the way to do it, man. Harley tanks are, big dressers. They've got a ton of clear. So if you get in there, pick them up a little bit, you can wet sand them flat. But street bikes, I stay away from them. I stay away from the street bikes.
I haven't done a single street bike tank, but the Harleys, I've done quite a few. So I like the customer base. I like the guys. They tend to drop them off in the winter, so no stress for me. I build a jig for each one, and it seems to work pretty well.
And no, I don't have a YouTube channel.
You see that one? I was waiting for it.
These two guys have been telling me to get one.
Check out his Instagram. Can you just type it in, Ryan, for them?
I don't because I don't have a YouTube channel. I can't even talk.
Can you type it in?
What's your Instagram? RPS Dent Specialist?
RPS Dent Repair.
Okay. So guys, check out his Instagram. He definitely will update that a lot more frequently than YouTube.
Best portable light to get, a Limident.
A Limident. So far as a Limident. I will be testing out the I think it's called custom PDR gear. But Limident seems to be the best.
Yeah.
I want to try the new Stucky. The price point's just a little bit out of my range on what I want to spend. When I priced it at MTE, it's $680 or something was just a little extreme. But it looks like it's a really good light. But I've been a limited guy for quite a while.
Yeah, I think I only I've only used a Limident, so I may be biased on which light, but I think actually Stucky is sending me a light to test out too. I actually have a package coming in, so hopefully he's sending a light and I can check. I could check those two out, but
I think a lot of the price and a lot of the new lights is the bat vac that they're putting on there, because just that add-on is the $250 range, and I think it does make a difference.
Right.
But it's the price range.
All my tools have been from Blim, Dentcraft, and Ultra. Are they overpriced? I don't think so. It basically said all my tools have been so far from Blim, Dentcraft, Ultra. Are they overpriced? Do you recommend any other sites? I'm in Canada and it's picky on the shipping, some charge, an arm and a leg. I think the two.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead.
I think it's kind of the Snap-on Mac Craftsman type thing. You're using this tool every day, and it's making you money. Buy what you like. I mean, Dave has some tools that I don't have. Chris has some tools that I don't have. Me personally, I don't own any Ultra tools. I'm a Dentcraft, PDR Finesse. The biggest thing is when you get with other techs, check out their tools. Try them, feel them. Try it on a dent. I think Chris and Dave, I have the Carbon Tech rod, and both of those guys tried that rod. That's a $1,500 purchase.
Yeah.
So
and I'm definitely going to try that out before I buy it, instead of just add it to the cart and see if I like it or not.
I think
I like it though.
Tools are expensive. I mean, it's just like I said, it's the Snap-on, Craftsman, Husky. It's all in. You buy what you can afford and get past, and they always upgrade.
Yeah, that carbon rod though is lovely. That is a good carbon. It's a Carbon Tech, right?
Yeah, it was a Carbon Tech.
Yeah, it's a pretty good rod. I particularly like Ultra Dentals. I've leveraged off those bad boys so hard. I would have swore they would have been by now, but I have the old style. I've had probably some Ultra Dent tools for about 10 years. Dentcraft tools are very economically affordable. So I think Dentcraft is good for entry level guys. I'm actually going to be working with them, putting together a nice set that I like. So stay tuned to that. That'll be on their website. Blim, I've had the old school Blim tools. I remember when they first came out, so I enjoy my Blim tools. But I don't buy my guys Blim tools anymore because there's other manufacturers that I think make similar tools that I can order all in one package. So, but I do love my Blim tools that I do have. Lost half of them, but
A1 does have some good tools.
yeah, A1.
If I've got some A1 tools that I've had for 15 years. I mean, and I'm still using them. So, it seems like A1 is not a tool innovator. They kind of just remanufacture some tools that are out there. So, but the quality's okay too.
Yeah, I think Anson, right? Am I saying it right? It's Anson. I think they're coming. They're trying to be like the Amazon of tools. So I think you can get all 3 or 4 of those brands pretty much at one company in Anson PDR. So that's that's kind of like my one stop shop. I'm going to quite
Now,
often
Dent
now,
Gear is no longer in business.
which
They
is
were
sad because I like some of their tools.
they were purchased by CarePoint Tools.
Okay.
So Mark Turkish bought the whole group of them, bought all of his inventory, and they're in the process of a merger. So it's going to take some time for them to finalize that deal.
Man, I love Dent Gear tools, man. There's some tools in there that just can't get anywhere else.
And I see Benny's looking for someone to learn how to do big dents. You're more than welcome to come to Baltimore. I keep telling you, come on down.
I told him to go to you.
Every Saturday is my smash day, so come on down. Just tell me, hey, I'm on my way.
So, any lights recommendation? Right now, he has a 14-inch Ultra Dent 3-stripe bulb, fog. I'm sorry.
It's a limited. Difficulty. Ultra sells.
A limited. Okay, yeah.
I say get the 20-inch. Have a 14-inch and a 20-inch. I have 2 14s and a 20. And it's get it. Just pick it up. It's definitely going to help you for certain things.
James Lee is launching his new light line, which will be launched in April. It looks like he's taking pre-orders the end of March. So, and James Lee at Unlimited, his customer service is by far some of the best in the industry. You email him, even on I would say some Sundays you get a response. So, the customer service is there.
Yeah.
I when I have my techs go out, they always have a 14-inch and a 20-inch, and you can kind of stagger it, so you pretty much get that 34 inches of real estate there. So I say 2 lights. If you can't see it, 2 lights. You can kind of have one from one angle to another angle. So always have 2 lights, I think. Any more questions? Did we go through all these questions already?
Yeah.
So we're coming up on that hour. So we're gonna start wrapping it up. Ryan, thanks for having you. Do you want to tell people where they can reach you at and some of your social media pages? And
you can check me out at RPS Dent Repair on Instagram and Facebook. My website's rpsdentrepair.com.
You're hiring?
And I'm hiring. We're looking for experienced tech, or we are looking to train. So if you want to send a resume to me, it's rpsdentrepair@gmail. Thanks for having me, guys. And it was a good session this time. It was some good questions out there. We'll just keep trying to grow the page.
One guy saying one more question. Dave, you want to do your spill while he's asking your the question? You want to introduce yourself?
Windy City Dent Repair everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It's all one word, Windy City Dent Repair. Subscribe, please.
Please. Yeah, definitely just subscribe to his YouTube channel. He comes out with a different video style than I do. It's more cinematic. So definitely
try to make it fun, not as boring as just watching before, after, just, give it a little.
Yeah. You guys got to check out his MTE video that MTE put on his website. It was a pretty good vid. Check it out on his YouTube channel.
Link it for them, Dave.
And on their 14-inch, the last question he had was, my 14-inch stop adjusting brightness, is this common? No. There's a couple different versions that James Lee came out with. So there are some updated stuff that he did to him. I would send James Lee, go right on a limit end and send him an email. Tell him that it's an Ultra board. See how he wants to handle it. I don't know if he has to go back to Ultra or if he would handle it directly, because technically it's his board. So I would find out which way they want to handle it that way. But usually if the dimmer goes down, it's usually the switch. Mm-hmm. But in one of his versions, he had to change all the switches out. So I don't know which version you have.
And he will, I think he will fix it, or at least come to an agreement with you guys. I think you'll be very happy with the solution for getting that fixed. Just give him an email. I got one more from Jonathan. On crowns, do you tap on the back side of the crown to roll into the dent, or directly down onto the crown?
It's all preference, I think. You know what I mean?
It's how that dent is moving.
Exactly.
I'm checking.
Sometimes you get it and it's locked up. It's all instance based.
Yep. So guys, we're gonna wrap it up. If you guys haven't followed my YouTube channel, this YouTube channel is Dentless Touch. If you guys make sure you go ahead and put the thumbs up and subscribe. Also, I'm on Instagram at dentlesstouch.com. At Dentless Touch. I'm also on Twitter, and I'm now on LinkedIn if you don't have a LinkedIn page. So come join me in all those social media avenues.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Next Monday, we will see you again next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday. We're going to be doing this every Monday, guys. So see you guys later.
Save your questions.
Thank you.
All right, guys.